For some time now we've been wanting to do a video, make a video with Serena, and so that she could tell her story about growing up here in Mallorca. And we've got Savannah with us here today, joining us for the video. She's got a lovely smile. But just to give you a bit of a background, so Serena was born many years ago. I'm not going to tell you how many, that might be embarrassing. But when we were still living in Port Al's at the time, and Anita's mother was living on the island. Her father had died, as you probably know from watching one of our early videos. And when Serena came along, we were living in Port Al's in the village there. And Anita had a maternity leave, similar to the maternity leave that you might have in the UK. And she extended that a little bit longer. And then we needed to find someone to look after Serena as a baby, and it was not really suitable for Anita's mother to do it. So for the first few months, year maybe, she went to a guarderia, a little kindergarten where they took children from just 3 months old. And it was on the way to schools, on the way to work, so it was just drop her off and then pick her up. So she was dropped off at about 8:30 in the morning and then picked up at 4:30 in the afternoon. So she had a good long day in this Spanish guarderia where all day she would only be listening to Spanish being spoken. None of the people there spoke any English at all. So that's where her grounding really, I suppose, began in Spanish, even though at that stage she wouldn't be talking very much. And as she got a little bit older, so as she approached 3 years old, we found a guarderia which we'd been using for Adam, our son, in Bendinat, and this was really probably where Serena gains her first memories.
Yeah, so I don't know whether I can remember it like from myself, whether it's from the videos and the photos that we've got of it. But I remember they had a trampoline out in this garden. It was Isabel and Luis, and they were just a lovely older couple. They were pretty much like grandparents, I'd guess.
Absolutely,
is what how I saw them. And yeah, it's where I made my longest friend that I've had, which is Montana, and who I still meet up with now. And yeah, I just remember the freedom that we had. They had a huge garden, or it seemed huge to me at the time, with lots of open space.
Yeah, it's also where we as parents we met other parents. There were functions going on. We used to go and see shows there, so you'd meet other parents. So it's a place where we made friends as well, and some of them have been lifelong friends. So it was a great place. But Adam had been there before, so we knew what to expect, and it was a great grounding for Serena. Again, it was all in Spanish. So right up until she was 5. She was only hearing Spanish during the day, and then obviously English with us in the evenings and the weekends. So around that time, Serena started to do ballet, right from being a tiny little tot. Our eldest daughter, Lara, she'd been doing ballet with Gary Williams in Palma Nova in San Caliu. And many shows and lots of experiences. What do you think about the ballet?
Well, I remember going to ballet. I think I'd go 2 nights a week, pretty much from the get-go, and I did loads of stuff there. We did loads of shows. I also did exams, so we had examiners come over, and I think from really early on we started doing exams, so I've got all my certificates for them. And the offering that we had for extracurricular activities over here just seemed amazing. We just seemed to do something every night.
Well, because Anita were also very much involved with the Bay Entertainers, a local theatrical group, amateur dramatics. And Adam and Lara had also been involved, and so when Serena came along, she got involved. And again, all from a very early age, involved with the amateur dramatics here on the island, which was a really good experience, lots of things. What do you remember of the
I loved the Bay Entertainers. We used to do pantomimes every Christmas, and then we'd have a summer show, and it was just... I'd never known anything like it, because we never really went to watch any pantomimes growing up over here, apart from the Bay Entertainers. And so being part of it, I loved being on stage.
And you also got your claim to fame, your TV appearance.
Yeah, so one summer, I can't remember how old I must have been, like 6 or 7 maybe, I don't know, I was young. Passport to the Sun came over and filmed over here.
Yeah, and Nadia, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was pretty cool, having a camera up in my face on stage. And
so the passport, they were filming on the island, and they wanted to film things that were going on here in Mallorca, and they came to see what the Bay Entertainers were up to. And so Serena was on stage with a camera right in front of her, and she introduced the show. Sadly, we've not actually got a video of that, so if any of you do have a video of Passport to the Sun with Serena dressed up as in a top hat with
tails, top hat and tails in blue, I was blue sparkly,
and really would like to see that. There were lots of other things going on as well. I was doing Scouts, but you got involved with the brownies. I don't know what.
I don't think I ever went to Guides. I think after brownies, I then came to Scouts.
To Scouts with me,
And yeah, we did camps and all sorts of things, and yeah, it was so much fun. I just remember it being fun, all these extracurricular activities, making so many new friends. We also went to Portugal, didn't we, with the Scouts?
With the Scouts, we used to take the Scouts surfing to Portugal. That was really good fun. We had a hostel over there, and Adam came along to one of them. You came along as well. We had lots of fun. I never actually did any surfing, but Serena did.
I tried.
And there were lots of other activities as well going on all at the same time. So by the time she finished bending that, she'd have been 5 years old, and she then went to our school, which is an international school, but following a British curriculum and doing British exams. So from 5 years old, she went to our school there, and that's where she met the rest of her friends, or lots of other friends.
Yep. And it was lots of different nationalities. So I picked up German at school without having to actually learn it, because it's what I was listening to most of the day. So yeah, I just ended up.
So the grounding was there in Spanish, and then she's speaking German because a lot of her friends were German. And then when did French come along?
I don't think I started French until year 9, but yeah, my French is very rusty. I think by then I'd given up trying to learn a language, because I'd never had to learn a language before. So it was a bit frustrating just not being able to speak it straight away.
So a little bit of French, German relatively fluent, and Spanish absolutely fluent. So great way to start your education. At that time as well, we were also getting quite involved with the US Navy League. And that brings up lots of memories. We had lots of parties and ship visits.
You'd always be going out to cocktail parties. We're getting a babysitter because Mum and Daddy are just going to a cocktail party, or Nana's coming over. And
so
then
we used to go on to the ships for the cocktail parties, and we used to invite some of the officers from the ship and go out for dinner with them. And you used to come along to some of those dinners as well. So
yeah, and we'd go on the ships with the Scouts as well.
Yeah,
I remember
so
going on tours.
Lots of visits, mainly to American ships, but we did actually visit quite a few British ships. And that involved, or started Lara, our eldest daughter, her career, which started in the British Navy. But that's another story. We'll actually move on to that. So going back to school, we followed a British curriculum at the school, and so did GCSEs, except over here we did the international version of the GCSEs, the IGCSE. That was okay, wasn't it? And
yep.
then A-levels. And Serena did her A-levels here, no problem.
Yeah.
But then, what about university? Well, she did try.
I started at the tourism school in Palma. And I think having never been taught in Spanish, like for everything, I think I struggled quite a bit with them being taught everything in Spanish, not knowing loads of the vocabulary, and so I think I was a bit young and immature at the time, really.
Yeah, because Serena was also a year ahead of herself in school as well, so
she 17.
Was a little bit younger. So she ditched that, and then off she went to England and continued her education there. But growing up in Mallorca?
Well, also with...
Sorry about the car noise.
With such long summer holidays, we had summer camp.
Yeah, so school here finishes at the end of June and doesn't return till September. So all of July and all of August, sort of 10 weeks more or less of summer holidays. Can be a bit long. In the early days we used to have to go back to England for a month. So we used to go back in July. But then summer camp came along, and we used to stay here, and Anita and I both taught at the summer camp, and then you used to come along as a student.
I loved it.
Well,
I
eventually
remember
as she
that
got a little
being
bit
fun.
older, so probably, I don't know, 13, 14.
Yeah, I helped out with the babies, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, so 13, 14, Serena was getting a little bit old for the summer camp, and she started helping out. So she started as a helper, earned a little bit of money doing that. But then by the time she was 16, she was a full-blown teacher.
Yeah.
And she was teaching
Dance.
classes?
I did dance.
Dance classes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was the mad scientist, making bombs and rockets and all sorts of things.
But we used to put on the show together, so
And then, yeah, we used to put a show on at the end of the summer camp.
I did the dance and
Mummy would do
did
the music, Anita would do the music, and we used to have lots of fun. So any other great memories? Holidays, we haven't mentioned any holidays. Our holidays used to be just going back to the UK, but there were a few other special things. Do you remember any special holidays? Anything that...
I remember going on school trips. So we'd go on school trips to Portaventura at the end of the school year.
So Portaventura's not far from Barcelona, south of Barcelona.
Theme park.
And it's a theme park similar to Disneyland, but I've been a few times, and I find it amazing rides which frighten me.
And
so I don't do
shows,
them.
the shows there.
But shows, brilliant shows that you can go in, big theatres and watch the shows, and something to do. You could spend a week there and not do the same thing twice. We used to go for 2 or 3 days and stay in a hotel.
Yeah, we'd go at the end of the school year, and it'd just be a nice way to end the school year. I also did day trips to like Valencia. We went to Valencia on a school trip just for the day. So we'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to the airport and fly over, hop over on a half-an-hour plane flight, spend the day at the Science Museum and the aquarium, and then come home at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, people seem to be a bit surprised that you can do that here. You can get on a plane, go to somewhere and come back in the same day. But yeah, it's the sort of thing that we do. People
and we
do.
also went to Brussels, didn't we?
Ah, we did. We went to Brussels. There was something to do with the European Union, so we actually went to visit the European Union. I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And that was an inter-school thing, so there were some students from all of the schools, and I went along as a teacher, and Serena was one of the students who came along. But that was very interesting. We actually went into the Parliament building and saw where the delegates sat and did their work, and we were spoken to by one of the Spanish MEPs, so that was quite an interesting trip.
And had mussels in Brussels.
And we had mussels in Brussels. We did a bit of a tour of Brussels as well, so we saw some of the sights.
Yeah.
Anything to finish off with? Ski trips. We never really mentioned ski trips too much, but actually
I did go on one.
Serena went on one ski trip with us when she was about 4 or 5 months old.
I also went on
But
when
she
I
won't
was
remember that
13.
one. And then you went on when she was a student, so she'd actually skied. But we took her, when I used to organise the ski trips, and we took her as a baby, it was not too successful. I think we better wrap that up now, because Savannah's really wants a little bit of entertaining. Thanks very much for watching. If you found it interesting, give us a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments down below. We love to look at your questions, and Serena's been reading all through the ones on the previous, so please do leave us some comments. If you've got any questions, we're only too happy to try and help. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.